Okay.
and then just like in general how to like use landing pages to just, you know, be awesome.
All right. Well, being awesome, I can talk about.
I might hop on the class too, actually, so I can know myself.
Yeah, sure. I'm logged in right now, so feel free. I don't think anyone's gonna log into this thing. Have people been logging into classes?
You mean coming to the Zoom?
Yeah.
A couple people. It depends on the class. I'm hoping because this was requested that people will show up, but you know how people are sometimes.
I do know how people are. And I need to figure out the share screen thing. Oh, yeah. All right. All right. See ya.
All right, bye.
Bye. Hey, Gilbert.
Hi, Corey. It's Kathy.
Hey, Kathy. How are you?
I am well. Thank you, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. How's your family?
Good. Kids are getting big, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's doing good. Everyone's healthy, which is, you know, optimal situation. So, yeah,
Yeah.
not too bad. How about yourself? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Corey, you look good.
Thank you.
You look good. And it's
Thanks.
good and it's awesome to see that smile. I miss that smile.
I know I don't really see people anymore. I kind of hunker down in my little home office here.
Yeah. I've been working. I'm actually home right now. I was in the office this morning. There's no one there,
Yeah.
you know, except for Steve at the very end and his admin. And Steve comes and goes. So, you know, the whole idea of going in is to see people,
Right.
you know, and there's really no one to see. And of course, if you go over, Alicia and Faye and Lindsay are all so busy that you don't really,
Right.
they're not out and about. They're behind closed doors doing their jobs. And we're lucky they are, but, you know, it's just, it's not the same. It's very different.
It is very different, and I feel the same way because I mean the only real reason I've had to go to the office is just to either pick up checks or mail or
Right.
you know just a few things here
And
and
then
there.
we saw the note today that someone went in that tested positive.
In Quincy, yeah,
In the
yeah.
Quincy, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think
that's,
I'll be staying out
it's
there
just
for a
so,
little.
it's such a scary thing. And
Definitely is. definitely is.
No, no one has to tell you that, right?
No. Nope, I been there, done that. I'm all set.
Been there, done that, but you certainly look recovered.
Thank
And
you.
how's your wife doing?
She's doing well. She made the decision to not go back to school this year. So she's gonna stay home with the kids, and it's just too much craziness trying to figure out how to get everybody to be safe. And
Yeah, so where did she teach?
she was teaching at Wollaston Elementary in Quincy.
Okay, so they're going back live?
Yeah, so they're doing a mix. I think, I think some kids are going like Tuesday, Thursday. Other kids are going Monday, Wednesday, and like everybody's off on Friday or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they have an option for some kids to be full remote, some kids to be part remote. I think the kindergarten through maybe third grade are going to come into school.
Wow.
So it's just a little crazy. And, with as busy as I've gotten,
And it's really different from town to town, right?
every town has their own plan. Like I know Braintree's doing something a little different.
Yeah.
Some
Some towns are not going back and reevaluate. A couple of my great nieces and nephews are being homeschooled until November, and it will be reevaluated at that time.
Yeah, wow. Crazy. So, yeah, well, we have a few people on, and this is a class that was requested, so I'm hoping that you guys find it interesting. This was basically, I think I was on a call maybe a month or two ago, talking about how to do stuff that was maybe contactless with all these new COVID type things going around. And I mentioned that my team has stopped even handing out sheets at open houses. We are basically putting everything digital. So I mentioned that we had created like a QR code that led to like a property website, a property details page, which went over really well. This was a listing I had in East Bridgewater. We had like almost 200 bodies that had come through between 2 open houses and, a couple of showings. And, really all they had to do was open up their phone and they got all the information for the property right there. And we just didn't hand out sheets to try to keep contact down. So somebody had requested, I think, asked Alicia if she could reach out to me. So, Alicia and Lindsay reached out and said, would you mind showing people how you did that? And I said, sure. Sounds super complicated. To be honest with you, I didn't know how it was done until about 10 minutes before this call when I called one of my admins who actually did it. And it was so simple, even I can figure it out. So we should. I'm going to share my screen. I can go through the creation of the landing page and show you guys how to very generally create the landing page. Is that something that would be beneficial for everyone to see? If you could just let me know, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be great. And also, if you could just provide a little bit more information about how you're doing the sort of the digital stuff,
Yeah.
how they're accessing that.
Yeah, so I'll show you how to do that.
Awesome.
As well. So what I'll do is I'll take you right from the creation of a landing page into the creation of the QR code, and then how we kind of link the two together, and then what you can do with it once you get it created and linked up to specific website or property details page. Does that sound good?
Yeah, Corey, what is, I'm just curious, like why you chose to do a QR code rather than like a short link or something like that. What did you feel was the benefit of that?
So nobody had to, so this was specifically, to be honest with you, I got the idea because I had gone out to eat a couple of times and they weren't giving out menus. And in order to get the menu, everywhere I went said, open up your phone, hover the camera over this, it'll pull up the menu right to your phone. And I said, man, I could do that for all my real estate stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
That way, you know, I'm not printing anything, saving some printing costs. And it's, you know, I feel like easier. The only trick with this thing is if somebody doesn't have a new enough phone, it doesn't do it.
Right.
But for the most part, I would say 99.999% of people had a phone that could handle it. And if they couldn't, I just told them to take a picture and have somebody else hover over the picture with their phone and then forward the address to them. So it wasn't really a big deal. We did it that way just because we wanted to limit. I didn't want to have to send it to everybody. I didn't, you know, I wanted them to be able to open up their phone as they're walking into the house, scan it, and then have all the details of the property as they're walking through, including
Right.
pictures and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of why we made that decision. It was because I was stuffing my fat face with things, and I was like, oh, this sounds like a good idea. So that's
Okay.
how it all came to be.
Great.
All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab a random property from MLS real fast that we can make this property details page on. I'm going to grab a KW one. Hold on one second, guys. If you see me looking like I'm not looking at the camera, that is because I am in fact not looking at it. 82 current listings. Great job, everyone. Just gonna grab something real fast here. Oh, perfect. All right, we'll grab Nicole's new listing here. 403 Salem Street in Rockland. All right. Little 2-bed, 1-bath home, 1,300 square feet, listed at $340. This will be great because this is the type of property that if you did have an open house right now, you'd have 1,000 people through the front door. Okay. So and let me just pull this up and get my screen shared for everybody. All right. So in order to make these, you need to have access to Command. Does everybody here have access to Command at some level?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right. I'm gonna ask the obligatory question. Can everyone see my screen?
We can see it.
Okay, fantastic. So this is the home screen here. You can see I have a lot of overdue tasks that need to be done. But I will pull your attention over to here to this left-hand side. In order to create one of these landing pages, you want to go to where it says consumer, and that's the bottom highlighted little button or emoji over here. You can't get into the listing consult one yet. So you just click into that. I'm telling you that this is very, very easy. Very, very easy to do. So you can see here all the different, there's 28 different landing pages that we've created here. You know, I run a lot of my Facebook ads and I just link them back to properties. They're all properties that are in the office here. So you can see there's a few here that we've already done. But in order to create this new landing page here, you're going to go into this top button here, creating a new site. This will either do it on your website that you have set up already, or as a standalone page. If you're creating a landing page for any type of social media thing, I think it's better to do a standalone page. I'm also going to give you guys a disclaimer that I am not the tech guru that everyone thinks that I am. I just mess around with this stuff a little bit, and I've kind of figured out a few things. You know, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. I may not have all the answers, but I can certainly point you in the direction of where I typically find my answers. So anyway, highlight as a standalone page. You just hit create page, and you are at the landing page creation spot. So up here, they want you to name it. So you can name it the property, you can call it whatever you want. That's not necessarily a huge deal. I gotta move this thing here. All right, so over here to the right, you can see all the different little tabs that you can, or widgets that you can use to create this landing page. And it really just depends how in depth you want to get with it and what your purposes are. You know, I think for me, typically what we do is a branded header, the listing, a market snap, and a lead form, as well as a download my app. And that's my typical thing that I do. I have not gotten into messing with all this stuff at a like ridiculously high level. I have done some stuff with video, super easy to do video. You could link this thing to a video tour if you had like a you know, some kind of video tour that you've done, whether you shot it on your phone or you had somebody do it and you wanted to have this QR code linked back to the video, you could certainly do that as well. But for what I do, you know, I'll show you guys what I do here. It's the branded header. So all you do is you click on it and you just drag it over and you just drop it. Bang. Then we go into the listing. Same deal. Drag it over and drop it. And you're going to see that some of the stuff comes up and it's very like we're clearly not selling 300 Hilltop View in Austin, Texas for 1.4 million. We have a $340,000 2-bedroom house in Rockland. But these are just kind of, if you can think about them as placeholders, okay? Then I'll typically scroll down. This is what the listing is going to look like. So this is when people open up this landing page, whether you just, you know, share it on social media or you link it back to a QR code, this is what they're going to see. You know, this is where all the bedroom, bathroom, all that information, the write-up on the property, all the pictures, some of the details, in a map. So if you want more information, maybe you want to put like a market snapshot in there, you just grab this thing and you just kind of drag and drop it. You know, now this says Barton Hills. We're going to get that changed as well. So the caveat to this is that this information here is not always accurate. So you might want to check with the MLS if you're worried about how accurate this thing is. I will say usually it's close, but I have seen discrepancies. I usually don't mess with it because I just think it gives a snap. It's not a report. It's just a snap, like a quick look at what's going on. All right, does that make sense? So I will also grab a, where's the lead form here? Where did you go? Lead form. Oh, there it is. Lead form. Just kind of drag it down to the bottom there. Right, so this is great if you're sharing it anywhere and somebody decides that they do want to talk to you. They can click into this stuff and write you a little love note, give their information. And then I always do the download my app. Obviously, you can only do this if you have your app information set up. It didn't go. All right. Cool. So your next question to me is, all right, Corey, I see how you did all that, right? So this is just how I set it up. You could do anything you really wanted to. You know, let's say you went in here and you're like, I don't want the branded header anymore, right? If you just highlight the portion that you wanted, you just click on it. That's all I did. I just clicked on the section that I wanted, and you'll notice that right over here, there's a few little buttons. There's a trash can right here. If I were to click on that, that part would go away. So if you set it up, you don't like it, you can go in here and you can just delete it. I haven't had to mess with these other ones, but I'm sure it has to do with resizing it. Again, I don't get that deep with it because I'm not creative. I just want to get these things done and out. So I don't mess with it, and I think it looks better than what most people's stuff looks like as is. But if you're a more creative type and you want to get in here and start messing around with the sizes and ratios and all that stuff, you can do all that stuff up here. See all these different things that you can kind of do. All right. So once you get it set to the way you want, now you're going to go in here and click on this configure widgets button down here. It's going to ask you for the listing. If you've chosen the listing, I grabbed the MLS number on this, so I'll just search it. If you're going to do by MLS, make sure you do the drop down. You can also just search the property address, or if you know the KWLS ID, you can do that. I will say if you're looking to put up a new property that you just listed, I would definitely make sure that that thing has hit the KWLS. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this or if you do this, but I've gone in and posted a property on like, a Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then by 10 o'clock at night, it still hasn't popped up into the KWLS. So it's hard to pull a whole listing over. You could go in here in theory and just upload some pictures. I've done that before and just kind of create something out of the blue. But I do like to wait until the listing has actually hit on the KWLS. I think it just all kind of gels better. All right. So I grab the MLS number here. I'm going to hit search. Here's the listing that I want to use. You just click on select. All right. Move this thing here. So if you want to change the listing, that's not right. You can do that just by clicking here. If you want another cover picture, you can choose or select whichever one you want here. If you're happy with the way it is, save and apply. And you'll see that the landing page now looks like this. All right. You can see it's scrolling through. There's all the information on the property. All right, little pin. So now we've gotten down to market trends. It still says Barton Hills. We want to make sure that changes because we are not in Barton Hills. We are in Rockland. So all you do is you come over here again to the right-hand side. You can see where it says 205 or the listing. These little arrows just basically move you through the other sections of what you wanted to, the other widgets, right? So this one is the branded header. So you got to enter text, Charming Cape. You can change the information. Oh, if you're like, well, I don't want my cell phone number, I want them to have my office line, you can do that. There's the email address we like to have, and you can, if you have your logo already uploaded into Command, it will already be here. If you don't, you can just upload it right here. Simply by clicking on, I think right here it says browse or something like that, and then going in and grabbing whatever logo you want. Then you just hit save and apply, and you'll see the branded header information here. It says Charming Cape, right? KW, Level Up Group, my name, my smiling face, phone number, and email address. You can see here, you have the little red required fields here. You definitely want to make sure that you have something in there, otherwise it won't work. And if you'll notice here, you only get 30 characters, so you can't write a huge write-up here. If you wanted to change it and say Rockland MA Charming Cape, you could do that, whatever you think. If you make any changes, once again, save and apply. All right. So I'm just going to scroll through up here. It says 1 of 5. So 1 is obviously the top, 2 is the listing, which you've already done. 3, this is the market snap. So Rockland MA market stats, if you want. You want to make sure that you have the zip code for Rockland, which I can't remember for the life of me what it is.
It's right there, Corey. 02370. It's right
great.
there. Yep.
02370. Great. So sometimes down here, take Quincy, for instance. If you put in a Quincy zip code, it's going to have like 45 different designations of neighborhoods in there. So if you want to do a neighborhood, you can. You do not have to. But if you wanted to get that granular, you could. And what you'll see here is where it said Barton Hills, it now says Rockland MA market stats. And here's the information that it's pulled from the KWLS. I would have a couple of questions about, the average listing price and the average sold price in Rockland being $550. That doesn't seem accurate to me, but maybe. So those are the sort of things that sometimes I'm like, I might want to look at that. But, you know, I think it just paints a picture. It could be right. The next one down here, so I'll just make sure I hit save and apply again. So moving on up in the top right, you know, you don't have to change anything here. If you want to, you could. For me, that works. And then, you know, download my app. If you wanted to write under this little subtext something else, you definitely could, but I think that works. You know, this stuff auto-populates. If you don't know where you can, this, again, you have to have your app set up. If you don't know where in command this is, I can show you. But typically, if you have it set up, this will all pop in right here. And then you just, again, hit save and apply. All right. And there you have a property details page. And so you can add anything else that you want. If you really wanted to add more things, you could. But for me, this is enough information for people to get. They're going to get the property information, some pictures, a little bit of a write-up, some information that they would get if you printed up sheets from MLS, and a little bit more. And obviously my contact information is up there. So if they need to get in touch with me, have questions, they can do that. And then once you're happy with everything, you just hit publish page. Would you like to publish this page as a landing page? It will make it visible to others. Yep, we just spent that time doing that, so of course we do. And let's let the machine think here for a second. All right, so you can see I have template 1. This is the URL. You can see here that I've changed these other ones to say the address. You just do that by these 3 little dots over here on the right. Change URL. It only allows you to do this back half. That's all you can do. So change it to be whatever you want. You know. So there it is. That is the creation of a landing page. So if you wanted to go back into this thing and you just click on it, this is what it's going to look like as a website. Individual property website is right here. If you wanted to tell clients that you're creating an individual property website for them, this is basically what we send to everybody. And to be honest with you, people are usually pretty impressed because they think we took a lot of time to design this and make it look nice. And in fact, it's just a template that we dropped everything into. All right, so that's the actual landing page itself. Okay. Now, to create the QR code, so the way we found this is we just, my admin Candace, you know, I said, what's it look like to create a QR code? Can you look into it? And she just like Googled create my own QR code, and the first thing that popped up was Flow Code. So, and that's Flow, F-L-O-W code. Let's see if I can get it to, there we go. All right, so I just went to flowcode.com, and this is what pops up. It's very simple. You can name it, it's optional. You can send it wherever you want to send it to. You know, if you wanted to get real crazy, you want to send people to your TikTok account, they can watch you dancing all around, that's great. You want to send people to YouTube, wherever. For our purposes, we're clearly doing a website here. So we're just going to, let me grab the URL. So I'm just copying this, going into Flow Code here. Website. It's what I chose. This thing is behind. There it is. All right. Just leave that thing in here. You can pick whatever design you want for your little QR code over here on the right, whatever you think. You know, whichever one you like. You want to encourage people to vote, you can have something that says vote, whatever it is, whatever you think. I'm a plain Jane, so I'm just going to leave it the original way. If you want to change the colors on it, you can do that. That's fine if you like. Great. we like black. You know, you want to do it, doesn't matter. You can create whatever you want. So if you want to personalize it, customize it, and you have like a logo that you want to put in the middle of it, maybe it's the KW logo if you don't have your own, just go into upload here. I set this stuff up a little bit before you guys got on, so that's why I'm finding everything so easily. And you can see right here in the middle, it popped my group logo right in. And you hit create. Bang. All right, and it tells you where it's linked to. All right. Now you can go ahead and download this thing. It would just download right to your computer. And then if you wanted to go in and create, so what the girls did is they went into Canva and they made like a one sheet thing that we just put at the front door. And they just put this QR code there and said scan for property details. And so when people ask me what to do, I just told them to open up the camera on their phone and hover it over the QR code. And what will happen is once it focuses in, a little button will pop up and said, you want to be brought to this website, and you click on it with your finger and it will pop open that individual property website that ends up looking like what we just saw. And that is literally exactly everything that we did to make that. So once you are kind of familiar with Command and some of the stuff that they do, you could do all of this in about 7 minutes, I think. I think it would be very easy to assume you could do this very quickly. Do you guys have questions on this stuff? Anything I can answer? I think something that wasn't clear, something you want me to go over again?
Yeah, this was really helpful. Is there things that you had been providing at the open house that you would print out that is not sort of included here that you wish were, or how do you feel about that?
No, so I'm very basic. I feel like that open house stuff for me is just getting people the information. So I'm not one of these people that has all these beautiful things printed up. We did used to print up some, marketing stuff on heavier paper and make it look nice. And I only started doing that once I hired the girls because they have the skill set to do that and I do not. But no, and you really could link anything to this QR code. I mean, anything.
Right.
So for me, for right now, what I think people are looking for, I feel like this is like, hey, we're taking everyone's safety seriously, and because of that, we're not even going to exchange, paper. You could do this. You could create a sign-in sheet with this that basically had just the lead form there, and just say, hey, can you scan that, fill your information in to sign in, and hit send, and it would actually send it into your command.
Right.
So you could get it. So if you wanted to do,
that's ideal. Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanted to do a sign in, so people didn't even have to take your pens or whatever, or I've been sitting at the open houses, the few that we've done, asking everyone's name and phone number and email and writing it myself, so I didn't have to hand the pens back and forth. But if I had thought about it, it probably would have been easier if I just said, hey, scan this thing, you'll get a property website, and if you wouldn't mind, this is what we're doing to sign in today. Name, email, phone number, please, and just submit it, and it'll come right back to me. So you could do that as well. You wouldn't miss it. We used to have an Open Home Pro.
Right, that's what we've been using. Right.
Yeah, we're not even using that anymore. I mean, I canceled the account because we have access to do this, and it's free.
Yeah.
There is a way, and it's a little bit complicated, to generate a QR code directly in Command.
Oh.
So that when people scan it, you automatically get their information. When you go to create a postcard, and I haven't done this myself, I looked at doing it and I didn't really know, I'm like, some of these people have other agents. I didn't want to be feeling like I'm sniping their clients. But you can go in and create a postcard that will generate a QR code. and you can kind of copy and paste, like screenshot the QR code out of the post, creation of the post,
Right.
and put it on another document, and you could use that just as a sign-in sheet as well.
Nice.
Really super easy to do. So, was that helpful?
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody else have questions on the landing page stuff or questions in general about anything? I'm here, so please use.
This is great.
Good. Found it helpful, Kathy?
All the open house materials is very time consuming and expensive,
Yeah.
and it's not safe. And I think this is awesome. And I too have seen this technology in local restaurants. And I messed it up a few times when I didn't hit the right place above the code to get the menu. But once you get the hang of it, it's real simple.
Yeah. I will tell you that, I mean, the reaction that we got from people when we had these things up. So I think we put one at the front door, and we had some up throughout the house in case people hadn't done it. That just said, scan here for property details. Everyone was really impressed. They, it looks like this real hard thing to do, but now that you see it, it's really super simple. I'm just going to stop my screen share here. I can always come back to anything that you guys need. But, I think it looks good. KW is marketed as a technology company now. I think these are things that kind of make us look a little bit more advanced than maybe, what we were portrayed as, a couple years ago or even a few months ago. I think it just really looks nice, and then just personally, I think there's a bunch of stuff you could use this stuff for,
So were you able to get people to actually use the sign-in form? Oh, you haven't done that part yet. So that's just getting people to actually fill it out, can sometimes be a challenge.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, when I just basically told people, if you want to come in the house today, because we're tracing, we need to know who's been coming into the house. You got to give me your information. Otherwise I'm not letting you in.
Yeah.
Because if I found out that, my seller ended up getting COVID, because I need to know who was in the house.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Notify them or find out how it came in or whatever. I'm not the government, so no one actually has to listen to me, but I think this is just kind of a thing that people are used to at this point, this tracing and being pretty forthright with their information. And typically, I think if you don't make it a big deal, people don't make it a big deal,
Okay.
If I said, hey, this is what we're doing for a sign in today. It's important that you do this before you come in, scan here, sign in as you walk through the house, and, thank you very much. Great. You know what? Maybe 7 out of 10 people do it.
Right.
But even if you open house sign-in sheet, and you say,
Same
hey,
thing.
sign in over there, people are going to write Barney Rubble, and, the phone number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Right.
That
Exactly.
happens.
Yeah.
So, I think for the most part, people were really cool about it.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, this was really helpful. I've played around with landing pages before, and so it's familiar to me, but I like how you're using it. I think that's a smart way to do it, for sure.
Thanks. Thank you. We do a lot with Facebook ads too, and I think it can be a little deceiving when you ask people to click here for information and then they don't get anything. The phone just rings and you're like, hey, you ready to buy a house? I think that's a little backwards. So, I mean, we set up landing pages for those too. So when people click on our ads, for property specific ad on Facebook, it pops up, they get a website, they can go right on it. And then what happens is they start messing around and now they're searching on my website.
Right.
So they're very helpful, super easy to create. I've seen some people get really crazy with them on some of these groups on Facebook. That's just not my skill set at all. I'm not visual like that. I just use it for what, the easy, straightforward widgets. And, I think most people are impressed and they think you're doing this crazy stuff when really, I mean, you're not. So.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Corey.
Yeah, you guys are very welcome. Any other questions for anybody? I want to make sure we everyone feels like they had their questions answered. All right. Well, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Good luck out there. Stay safe. And you guys all know how to find me if you have questions on this stuff. Feel free to call me or email me or anything like that. All right.
Sounds good. Thank
All right,
you.
guys. Take
Thanks,
care.
Cory.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too.